Stage 3 now, CPAC 2015, the Conservative Political Action Conference. It's the Republican Party's political incubator for presidential campaigns yet to be hatched. Where else can names like Bush, Trump, and Gingrich all share the same marquee on the same day? And on Thursday at CPAC, it started with a bang with attendees hearing from, among others, a senator from Texas and a certain governor from Wisconsin.
Now, up the way there in Washington, we have a president who measures success in government by how many people are dependent on the government. We should measure success by just the opposite, by how many people are no longer dependent on the government. We understand that true freedom and prosperity does not come from the mighty hand of the government. It comes from empowering people to live their own lives and to control their own destinies. That's the American way.
But President Reagan told the people of this country, the Republican Party is not a fraternal order. We share philosophical commitments to freedom. And the Republican Party matters only insofar and in so long as we stand for liberty and the Constitution and for the American people.
CPAC has been a launching pad for Republican candidates for president for decades now. It's also seen its share of failures to launch. So, which speakers in the wide open field of potential Republican candidates for president in 2016 are striking a chord with attendees? And since there's always some kind of internal conflict, what's the controversy this year? Joining me now from Maryland and the 2015 CPAC convention, One American News reporter Patrick Hushin. Patrick, fresh off the wires, we hear there's a little bit of controversy regarding Jeb Bush and some of the attendees saying they're going to walk out. What happened? Did it happen?
That is fresh off the wire, Graham. Hello, Graham, from Maryland. The walkout, so they called it, was small. I think it was overplayed a bit. It was some from the farther right, it was some gentlemen from southern Georgia dressed in their Tea Party get-up, in their Revolutionary War get-up, and there were about 150 or so that ended up in the hallway chanting USA, USA. But for the most part, Hannity from Fox led the discussion with former Governor Jeb Bush. The crowd was respondent. No one truly responded too much to the silent walkout. So, Graham, it ended up being, it fizzled more than it was successful. One
would imagine they were probably protesting, among other things, Jeb Bush's stance on illegal immigrants. He's very pro-immigrant, and a lot of conservatives have a problem with that. But let's move on to Marco Rubio. Supposedly, he's done some sort of mea culpa while he's been at CPAC?
A little bit of a backstep, Graham. 2 years ago, Senator Rubio, the young senator from Florida, was a vital part of that Gang of Eight, which was fully in compliance with President Obama's immigration reform system. Today, on stage, in front of everyone, he admitted that could have been a mistake, that he feels that he focused on comprehensive reform too early. And what they should have been focusing on first was the border, was complete security of the border, as opposed to going down that road and being in compliance with President Obama and his immigration reform. So yes, he took a step back, and again, the young senator may have it could have been his saving grace today, because he did get a rather good reception.
I was at CPAC last year in 2014 and in 2013, but it seems as though there's a different flavor, right down to the way they are staging the event this year, where there are speeches, of course, like there always have been, but the stage seems a little bit different. There's a kind of a Q&A section for virtually every speaker. Tell me about that.
Yes, you're right. This is brand new, and to me it's surprising that this is the first year that they would introduce this element, this Q&A element. I've had the opportunity to be the one there on the side of the stage asking questions of Carly Fiorina after her speech. She gave a rousing speech, and former Ambassador John Bolton. It is something new. It seems to be fairly well embraced. Newt Gingrich was in here earlier. He thinks it's a great idea. So yes, that is something where they're saying that a politician should be able to stand on a stump, give a rousing speech, and it's only natural for the crowd to respond, and this is the year they get to do that.
Well, hopefully, I'm sure that you asked some rather hardball questions. What about the attendees? The last few years.
Let me stop you there, Graham. The questions actually came from Twitter. I do want to throw that out there. They were from the public via Twitter. So there you go.
Well, hopefully they were hardball. The attendees, young, old, a good mix. And what are the issues that the attendees are focusing on that they want to hear from these speakers regarding, for example, immigration, repealing Obamacare, lower taxes, etc.?
Well, you're right. The age range, I think, has been growing for some time now, and I think social media plays a part in that. I mean, it seems to be younger and younger every year. So, yes, we have everywhere from people in their early 90s, World War II veterans, to the young conservatives. So as far as the issues go, it's been a lot of people have been talking about Hillary Clinton. There's been a lot of focus on her because no one wants that third Obama term. And so they've singled her out, and that's why they responded so well to Carly Fiorina in the Potomac Ballroom, in the main ballroom there, as well as John Bolton, former ambassador, because they focused on Hillary in their experiences with Hillary. And I feel like that's one issue they're pushing, but the other would be the March 4th the beginning of the King versus Burwell Supreme Court case, which obviously has sparked much discussion about Obamacare and the IRS illegally issuing tax subsidies. And then to finish that out, and you mentioned it just a second ago, Graham, that Bibi Netanyahu's visit on Tuesday is a big topic here. And they're saying that, of course, is something that President Obama is completely screwing up, and that he's not responding well to that visit from Benjamin Netanyahu, and therefore could be, it's not allowing the Iran negotiations to go as they should. So yes, those are some of the main topics.
Well, I'm sure, speaking for those folks there, a Bush-Clinton election in 2016 would probably be their worst nightmare. Straw poll is tomorrow, and also Mark Levin speaks, so have fun. We'll let you go. Thanks, Patrick.